I'm here, finally. Let's see. Hope everyone's doing okay tonight. Whoever's out there. Let's see if I can. Hey, Catboy, how's it going? Alright, welcome to, will be a little bit shorter stream than normal. Still planning on ending at the same time, but a little later start than normally what we do. Give me just a minute, I'll get the Word doc up. I apologize. I was visiting an old work friend downtown and did not think it was going to take an hour to get home. But it did, because construction, and that's my fault for living in Houston. So, here we are. So I know not to attempt to make plans on a day that I do a stream, unless it's like 5 minutes away from now on. But hey, you live and you learn, so here we are. Let me go ahead and change this so y'all can see the Word doc. Today is the 17th. Alright. See if it's gonna let me do it on the first try. And then go ahead and make this a little bit bigger. Alright, well, if you are here, which I know I got a couple people here, but if you're here already, thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate you guys tuning in on kind of, switching things up a little bit, at least for this week, doing it on Thursday instead of Wednesday. So I appreciate you guys helping me out and making the change work. Once again, sorry for the delay and starting a little bit later than I normally like to, but we're here now, so just make the best of it. And yeah, so I'm just going to be taking some notes and doing some things. If you guys are here and want to jump into the chat, talk about any ideas for towns and cities, we will be doing the deep dive in 2 days on Saturdays. I said Saturdays instead of Saturday, but I digress. Or if you have any other ideas and you feel like dropping them in the chat, please do not hesitate to do so. But yeah, we are officially back to our regular schedule. I don't see any reason that I'll be doing a switch up again anytime soon. So we are back to Monday, Wednesday, Saturday streams. Just the way I like it. clear. Should probably turn on the other lights. That's what I have them for. It'd probably help if I plug in those lights. Just a little bit. Hey, yeah, sorry about that. I had set the schedule for 9 instead of 8 because I figured I was gonna run a little late. I did not think that part of the freeway was gonna be shut down when I was driving home. Which, once again, I live in Houston, so that's my fault for not assuming that the freeway would be shut down due to construction or a wreck or something like that. So, I got here like 6-7 minutes ago. As soon as I got in the door, I just turned on the laptop, threw on the stream, and ran, filled up my water, which I didn't even remember to bring into the room, but I'll grab that here in a minute. So no big deal. How are you doing, Catboy? It's good to see you. I appreciate you showing up, even though we're off to a start today. Hope that means you are doing well. It may just be me and you for most of the night. Ah, there you go. Had the day off. That's good. I have most days off right now, which is kind of interesting for someone who used to work, 80 hours a week. Having 7 days off in a row is pretty weird. So, what'd you do? Do anything interesting? Play Borderlands or Genshin Impact, or what'd you do today? 80? Yeah, I used to. Some days. I used to work 3 jobs. So there'd be weeks where I'd hit 80 easily. During the holidays, I used to work as a retail sales manager. So during the holidays, like the week of Black Friday, sometimes I'd hit 80 hours just at that one job. But that's how it goes. I think I probably should change. It's actually just playing Borderlands, but I spend most of the game playing Per Aspera. What's Per Aspera? Yeah, I figured you meant the day. No biggie. Okay, that's kind of bright. Maybe I'll hit it with the red. That's too orange. Well, as maybe you could tell, I made a couple more changes to the set. Got this little black screen behind me that was in the podcast episode. This probably won't be there for but a couple of streams. The reason I have it there is I actually put the sound dampening up yesterday, and let's just say that every piece of foam is perfectly aligned where you can't see any gaps whatsoever, which is why I had to hide it with a screen, because I didn't want people to see how perfectly I did it and get jealous. So I'm a man of the people. What can I say? It's a strategy sim game about terraforming Mars. Oh, okay. That sounds kind of cool, actually. Yeah, so... But yeah, that's what happened. I mean, it doesn't look great. It does the job. And I don't know if it's so much that I misaligned them or that the company's foam isn't like exactly perfect. Some of the shaping was a little warped. But either way, we plan to put a green screen up at some point anyways, so it'll be fine. But yeah, I'm glad you had a good day. I just cleaned around the house, put this covering up. That's really it. That was really it before I went to dinner, and then raced home here so I could make sure I got on for at least a bit and streamed with you guys. But I kind of had a feeling it was only going to be a couple of people today because no one was expecting me to, even if I say it 18 times on Monday, I had the feeling that people weren't going to remember and show up on Thursday. Plus, I started so late compared to my 8 o'clock start time. Hey, before D&D has arrived. Welcome to the stream, sir. You know what I need to put on the dock for continuity? For continuity's sake. That reminds me. I'll spell it the way it's spelled. Did I still put a capital? Long may she reign. Not. I think this makes her. Was this the third one or the second one? No, this is the second one technically. Okay. Saturday will be the third one. Yeah. Yeah, second one. Long may she reign. Or not. I'm really, really open to the or not. Yeah, I created a clip from that episode where Karen became the boss, and man, I was really hurt. I was really booty blasted. It truly was tears of rage. I felt so much pain. One moment. What is... Okay, today is week 7. Alright. Catboy says, not much. I was off today, so I've mostly been playing games all day. That's a good way to spend the day. I need to sit down one day this next week and finish Sifu. Brutalis. Wow. I mean, you have made some bad puns using that character name, but that might be the worst one. Like I'm almost certain it is your worst one, actually. These little pins. Cowboy says, "Oh, also I looked into Pathfinder 2E today. I gotta say I like what I've seen so far. Yeah, I've heard some good things about it. I've heard that there's a lot more um, like mechanical depth to the game compared to 5e, which is simpler. Which either way is good for some people, bad for others. Just depends on what you like." What the fuck? How are you doing today before D&D? Did you have a good day? Mm, there we go. There we go. Alright. Well, I guess he didn't have a good day. You would think at 7 years old that every day is a good day for you. Or you'd hope, I should say. It's obviously not necessarily true. Wow. Oh, nice. Cowboy says, "I got the write-up done for Sweet Music. It's on the Discord." Okay, give me just a minute, and then I'm going to pull that up and look at that, because all I'm going to be doing tonight, it honestly seems there's probably only going to be a couple of us in the stream tonight. I'd be surprised if we kind of hit that high velocity we sometimes get to. Hopefully we get that on Saturday, because Towns and Cities is going to be an interesting deep dive. But I'm just going to be talking to you guys and writing for the one shot that I have coming up in a couple of weeks. So I'm going to be taking some notes both here and then off screen on the laptop here. No, before D&D, Sweet Music is a magic item that Catboy created, more of an artifact really, but very interesting. You should check it out. I'm gonna pull it up here as soon as I'm finished typing up this thought that I have. pull up Sweet Music Discord. Where you at? All right. Make this text a little bit bigger. Sweet Music, a +3 magic weapon, crafted by the famed half-orc mage Geth Almec. It holds the power to transform itself, its wielder, and even the environment around it. Solid introduction. Let's see. Let me change the song real quick. This is not fitting the vibe. A weapon, either Warhammer or Battle Axe, artifact class, requires attunement. Mutable form. This weapon actually has 3 forms which the wielder can switch in between as an action. Okay. Each form allows the wielder to access different abilities. The alto. In this form, Sweet Music appears as a musical instrument that's type determined by its wielder with an alto clef imprinted somewhere on its body. Any performance checks made using the alto gains a +3 bonus on the roll. The base. In this form, Sweet Music appears as a warhammer with a base clef imprinted on the head. It is also known as Earth Molder due to its ability to manipulate rock and stone and to infuse its wielder's body with the power of rock. Okay, I like that. The wielder is proficient with warhammers, well, in this form. Okay, that's smart. It's a smart play on words, which I shouldn't be surprised because you love puns. But I think a lot of people would miss the like subtext of what you're saying there. Armor of Earth. While wielding the warhammer, you can use your action to cast the Investiture of Stone spell from it. You can't use this property again until the next dawn. While this effective is active, you can use your reaction to negate any effect that forces movement so long as you are firmly standing on the ground. Okay, Earth Molding. This warhammer has 5 charges. While the head is in contact with the ground, you can... Where is the rest of the text? Just stops at you can. That's probably because I made text bigger. That's interesting. I wonder why I would do that instead of just shifting the document down. That's very strange. Well, let me get to the next page. I'll do that. Use an action. So while the head is in contact with the ground, you can use an action and expend 1 or more charges to cast one of the following spells with a spell save DC of 18. You can use Maximilian's Earth and Grass for 1 charge, Erupting Earth for 2 charges, or Transmute Rock for 2 charges. You can also use an action to cast the Mold Earth cantrip without using any charges. Then you have the treble. In this form, Sweet Music appears as a battle axe with a treble clef imprinted on the head. It is also known as Wind Shaper because of its ability to manipulate the winds around its wielder and make its wielder as light and graceful as the air itself. The wielder is proficient with battle axes while in this form. Okay. Grace of Air. While wielding the battle axe, you can use your action to cast the Investiture of Wind spell from it. You can't use this property again until the next dawn. While this effect is active, you can use your bonus action to take the dash or disengage action. That is very cool. Okay, and then Shaping the Wind. This battle axe has 5 charges. While the battle axe is held with its head higher than its shaft, you can use your action to expend 1 or more charges to cast one of the following spells. Warding Wind, 1 charge, Fly, 2 charges, or Control Wind, 2 charges. You can also use an action to cast, it doesn't say. I imagine it would have been the Gust spell, or the, like some, whatever cantrip is like Control Wind style. But it doesn't show. I know the dock's being a little weird. Maybe because I'm looking at it on a Mac, to be honest. Could be. But I like it. I like it overall. It's very, very well balanced. Is this targeted at a bard? Because obviously with it being, a musical instrument, this is flavor-wise. For me, it cut off right after where it says you can also use an action to cast. So the last word it shows is cast under the Shaping the Wind feature. So it was referring to whatever cantrip that you'd be able to cast. Oh, Thunderclap. Okay, that's even better. That's pretty solid. Okay. Yeah, it's a good item. Yeah, I just think it's the fact that it's there it goes. I think it just has something to do with the formatting. It doesn't want to give me additional space to make the document bigger, so when I increase the font size, it sends some of the words into the void. It's weird. Alright. Catboy says, yeah, I think a bard would probably like it. A more martial bard would likely gravitate towards it, though you don't need to have proficiency with the weapons. Yeah, I mean, it's very, it's a very well balanced item, to be honest. Because none of the stuff that you're giving is like ridiculous, but it has a lot of good abilities, but they're all balanced in that, like you can't use all of these different abilities without expending an action to switch between the different forms. And then you're also limited in some capacity by the charges themselves. Let's see. Now, the only thing, and I don't know if this got cut off, that I did notice when I was reading through, let me double check. Does it? Did you include, right? Because I'm not sure if it's just the doc being weird or not. Did you include the language for how the like the shaping wind and the earth molder get their charges back? The 5 charges? Because I don't see it on here. Like I said, I just don't know if it's cutting off and being weird or if it's. Because from what I'm reading, it just specifically says that it has 5 charges, which would indicate that they. Like, I would assume they just recharge the next day, or you roll a D something. Ah, I did not. Oops. Okay, well, no big deal. But, yes. That would be the only thing then. Just because obviously, you know, your player is going to ask you, how are you going to get those charges back? Okay. Let's switch this. Switch this down and put that like that, so I can still type. Why does that say that? Looks like we may have a few lurkers in the chat, and in my rush to get the stream going, since I was running behind tonight, I haven't done my usual shout outs. So, first off, I'd like to shout out L2S Entertainment, who actually followed the stream in between our last stream on Monday and today. So, L2S Entertainment, thank you so much for joining the archive, and welcome aboard. For anyone who's in the chat, we are currently sitting at 34 followers, looking to make it to 50 so we can reach affiliate. So if you're here and you haven't already followed, definitely follow along. We the stream's a little bit different, but we're usually a little bit more poppin' by this time and have quite a few people swapping ideas and just general good conversation. That's what we enjoy doing here, is just talking about D&D and other role-playing games and a bunch of other random topics. So if you like what you see, make sure to hit that follow button, or if you know anyone who may enjoy this type of content, share it with them so they can follow along as well. Let's see, Catboy says, okay, I uploaded the fixed versions. Both the bass and the treble regain 1d4 plus 1 charges each time. Okay. Yeah, I figured it was going to be something like that. Either, 1d4 plus 1, 1d4 plus 2, something like that. But that's solid. Very cool. I'll save the updated one to my computer, because that is a good item. I might give this to one of my bards in the campaign. Not my players, but NPC. Let's see. this one shot is going to be quite spicy. I'm very excited for it. It'll be the second one I do in this new campaign setting, so I'm hoping to not only run a good session but learn a lot from it. I referenced the DMG artifacts when I was making it and sticking to that level of effects. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You did a great job. Like if this was something that was in the DMG, I wouldn't even question it. So you did a good job. Be introduced to the by I'm gonna run and grab my water real quick. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Before D&D, you still there? Or did we lose you? Ooh, this is a good song. I sat down at the right time. Cowboy Tats. This isn't an item per se, but I had some magical flames in one dungeon that temporarily made items placed into it magical with effects based on the items, and also gave some power back to depowered artifacts. I think we might have lost our young companion. We might have. He's usually in and out, so even if he's sitting like on the stream, he's usually distracted doing something else when he's not actively talking. So no worries. Yeah, as far as the magical flames, so it's kind of similar to like Lost Mines, or where the well, no, I guess it is and it isn't, because I believe in Lost Mines the flames from the what was it, the Spell Forge, I think is what it's called, is just like a static +1. So that's cool though, because that's something that I've been thinking about doing. I've mentioned it a couple times, is that once I get to the actual campaign, there will be a mechanic that I flesh out in terms of degradation, meaning that magic items that aren't made of certain materials or aren't prepared a certain way or aren't of a certain class will over time lose their property, right? Like, so maybe a +2 sword becomes a +1 sword over time because whatever is creating the enchantment weakens or loses its sustenance over time. And then you can go to enchanters or find certain things kind of akin to what you're talking about that will re-infuse said power, or just take something that's not magical at all and make it magical. But if it doesn't have a I haven't decided on the name, but basically if it doesn't have a material that typically retains magic well, then it will lose its magic very quickly. The best example, and it's not the same per se, but it's definitely got some similarities, and I definitely like the way that he does it. But in Brandon Sanderson's The Way of Kings books, all of the gems, all of the different gems throughout the story, all the different materials, basically can hold what's called stormlight, which is their like magical energy, so to speak. So the better crafted, right, like the better constructed the gem is, so if it doesn't have damage, and then depending on the type of gem, it can actually hold more, and then obviously if it's larger, it can hold more. So it would kind of be similar to that, but using a broader range of materials as opposed to just gems specifically. And then you said, oh, actually, I think the thing from Lost Mines of Phandelver was what inspired it. I don't blame you, because it inspired me too. It was a very good and interesting concept. Very inspired, for sure, and inspiring. Okay. There we go. Sorry, one of my friends was having a panic attack. Hey, NASA Daddy 69. Welcome to the chat. How's it going? Good to see you here. I'm currently writing some stuff for the next one shot that you'll be taking part in. So we're taking what the fuck is up, everybody? Yeah, there it goes. That's about the energy I expected. Yeah, I am just writing right now, chilling, talking to Catboy mostly. It's a very chill stream, which there's nothing wrong with. But I'm just prepping for a couple weeks from now when we run this next session. Catboy Tad, speaking of puns, I made the treble and axe for that reason. Yes. Yes. I could tell. I like the. I don't know how intentional this was, right? Like if you knew, like if you decided you were gonna make it a rock pun and then chose to do the earth thing, or if you decided to do the earth thing and then realize like that obviously you gotta make a rock pun somewhere, but I really appreciate the rock pun within the base. Yeah, artifact talk, magic items, towns. Before D&D came in, he's probably still technically in here, but and left us with this glorious town name, Brutalis. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's literally what he did. He said hello, dropped the town name, and we haven't heard from him since. I actually don't have the rock pun in my original write-up. I had stone instead, but when I was typing it, I changed it. Fair enough. I'm not gonna, when I read it, it was there, so that's all that matters. You know what I'm saying? So, you added it after the fact, it still counts. Let me see something. Oh, that's not what I meant. Sorry, I'm irking. He's alive. Okay, because that's 17. So what would it... Oh. Lurking, I've been thinking of a character. Okay. Go for it. I'm gonna take these dimension notes as well for the wall. Gotta figure out the logistics. Because the medium is 17.7 by... I don't know why, but I like the idea of a bard fighter who's like the Count of Monte Cristo. So you mean Strahd? Because that sounds like what you just said. Have you not read the book? No, I actually haven't read the book. I just know it's inspired. Strahd is inspired by it. I've heard it's a good book. There's a lot of adaptations to it. There's even an anime about it now. I just haven't gotten around to reading it. Am I tripping? Yeah, who's gonna match up with? Yeah, I've only heard good things about it. Hmm. It's basically this man who was framed and sent to prison on these false accusations by his best friend. His friend was the real culprit, so he spends his time in prison where he meets a prisoner who's polite, educated, and trained in the sword. What they end up doing is digging a tunnel out of the prison, and while this is happening, the old man is also training the count, and that's only the first act of like 4 or 5. Watch the movie 9 out of 10. Okay, I will. Is it on Netflix? No, but I will rent it for you. Alright, sounds good. I will definitely watch it if you rent it for me. You can bring it by when we record the podcast. Speaking of which, we will be recording the next episode of the podcast this upcoming Tuesday. We decided to take a little bit more time to get the studio ready. Got some additional lighting, some things like that. Got the sound dampening up, and it ended up taking more time than we thought it would. But we would rather put out a great episode than one that's not really ready to go up. So we're going to take a little bit more time and make sure it's right. What about Jabbertown, where all the people who live there are mute? Okay. Sure. Why not? That would be an interesting story in and of itself. Like, is the town cursed? Is that why they're mute? You'll have to learn sign language, bro. That's very, very fair point. That would be a difficult one to roleplay. No, I mean, it wouldn't. It would. It would for sure be difficult. It would just depend because, like, obviously people who could use magic could circumvent muteness to a certain degree if they don't have to use verbal spells. That would suck. But if they can use hand signals for casting, and I would imagine a town like that would come up with some interesting ways of communication. But maybe I'll learn sign language anyways. Superman is in it, then what? Why would Superman be in it? The party goes there, then becomes distracted from saving the world to try to figure out how to help them. Hey, Angry Meatball. Better late than never. I was late, so I definitely have no right to judge today. But hey, that's Houston traffic for you. Couple of things. I mean, the biggest thing is that we've been talking about the Sweet Music artifact that we talked about on Monday with Catboy. He posted it in the Discord if you want to take a look at it. And we're talking right now about a town called Jabbertown where everyone in the town is mute. So, hey, Personalities is here too. Look at that. Got some folks showing up. Gang members would cast spells by throwing gang signs. Alright. Yeah, that would be interesting for sure. It's a pretty good magic item if I do say myself. If I do say so myself, you should say so because it is a good. It is a good magic item. I second that. Evening, Catboy. Hello, all. It's good to see you, Meatball. You gotta have a town run by him. Run by who? I had a game today. It ran long. No problem. Hope the game went well. The Count of Monte Cristo. You and the Count of Monte Cristo. Bro, I'll watch the movie, okay? I'll watch the movie. I'll watch it. Bring it on Tuesday and I'll watch it. I was cleaning today. I'm looking at some more disc plates. I'm gonna end up spending a lot of money on these plates. I don't know why I just thought of it, and now I'm once again obsessed with it. It did go well despite a few no-shows. That's good to hear. Not about the no-shows, but that it went well overall, obviously. I'm gonna pull out. No, I'll probably just do this on the actual laptop. Sure it has a calculator. Enlarge that. And then I can do that. I cannot imagine a town run by such a man. I'm gonna have to watch this movie and figure out. So it's gonna be 63. 75.6. Before DNC says, I just know there's no way he would let me play him, so I gotta convince him to make him an NPC. Yeah, I mean, I will hold all decision making until I've actually seen the movie. Because it sounds like I probably would not let you. Because he's not good at playing evil / questionable characters. Angry Meatball says he wouldn't be much of a player character. He doesn't have a lot of an arc. If he grows, if he heals emotionally, he becomes flat. He holds me back. I said evil or questionable. I did not say the count was evil, and you misspelled count. The could is not evil. Good to know. I would add some extra spice to his story. You add too much spice sometimes. You add the wrong mixture of spice. Oh my god. Once you watch the movie, you'll understand. Capo, that was really. Most words are not evil. I could not have said that better myself. Could is not evil. There we go. That's gonna be the YouTube title. Could is not evil. Oh my god. I guess that's about as close as it's gonna get. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Before D&D, instead of his friend framing him and taking his lover, I would have his lover be the one that framed him. Angry Meatball says he functions as timeless character insofar as a spirit of vengeance. He's not a man anymore after his ordeal. For D&D, and I would have him have been a spoiled brat. That way he learns humility through the story. It's actually a great way to describe him. Then you've created your own character. Congratulations. Yeah, there you go. Sounds like you made made your own character that you can run in your next D&D campaign. So there we go. We've created a character. Good job. Good job, everybody. So 12 is equal to 5. Or 7 is equal to 5. What is a 1.5? Fuck. It's 150% of. That's 155. Sorry, y'all. I'm trying to do some math to figure out the dimensions of this wall. Or rather, the dimensions of these posters I gotta order. Scrap Casimir. I'm gonna play Casamont Cristo. Yeah, bro, you're not doing that. Let's be clear. This sounds like a half-baked idea at best. So we can talk about it in person if you want. Cool. Things starting to pick up. So welcome to the stream, everybody. If you're a returning member of the archive, welcome back. I appreciate you guys being here. If it is your first time, welcome to the stream. This stream is all about creating a great world building content for primarily Dungeons and Dragons, but really any other role playing game as well. We're kind of shooting the shit right now, talking about before D&D's next half-baked character idea. But we are also working on town and city names for our Saturday deep dive, where we will actually build some fully functional towns and cities over that stream. Feel free to throw out any ideas you have about towns and cities, or any ideas that you have at all. And if you aren't already, please go ahead and hit that follow button. We are just 16 people away from reaching affiliate, and yeah, I'd really appreciate it. And Meatball says, also, while I also recommend the 1934 Count of Monte Cristo, I do not recommend the Count of Monte Cristo musical. Skimmed the book, but watched the movie as a kid and really enjoyed it. How do you feel about the movie? It gets a lot of mixed reviews. Look this shit up. Let's see. Yeah, mixed reviews for sure. But before D&D gives it a 9 out of 10. Is it really? The stream notes doc from Monday is blank? That's weird. Alright, hold up. Let me look at that. Because I definitely didn't mean to give a blank doc. That's good. Okay. Okay, boy, when you get a second, double check for me and make sure that the one I just posted actually has something on it, but now it should. I don't know why I did that the first time. Same exact file, but whatever. As long as it's fixed. Before D&D says, what about a town called Dolarim? Latin for sorrow, could be home to a certain cleric we discussed before. Sure. Dolarim. Latin for sorrow. Very cool. It's the same either way you slice it. So if I were to do 7, yeah, it'd have to be long ways. 2. I'd probably get a total of 7. Be a little bit of a gap. Next time I play in a campaign, I should make a charismatic ass gnome who aspires to run a magic item shop. Highly recommend it. I even got a name suggestion for you if you want it. You think you got one? I think I know which one you got too. 14 point. 12 goes into 9. 72. 84. 14.7 feet. It'll be your first character named after yourself. I like it. Do you plan on playing in a campaign anytime soon? No plans at the moment. Fair enough. Damn. I'm really considering just ordering some disc plates right now. I probably shouldn't though. Should probably wait. Because I think this is 19 versus 14. Interesting. Okay. Cool. Wow. It's already been an hour and a half. It's crazy. You guys make time go by so fast. I don't even understand it. This whole day's kind of gone by fast, to be honest, though. In a good way. Got a lot done today. Now that I've got this this one-shot idea going, I'm excited. I'm stoked for it. Every time I get a chance to run a D&D game, I get really pumped. Alright, tonight I shall give the town names I will expand on Saturday. Perfect. I'm here for it. Let's do it. Let's see. All highly magical places, and only one gives away nothing about it in its name. Yeah, I like them. Let's see, I found this one on display, so let me check it out. You weren't lying when you said you were going to do something cute. Bye, baby. Has anyone ever played Hollow Knight? It even says Kawaii Red Dragon. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it literally says Kawaii in the name, so. This is the one I was looking at today that I almost just impulse bought. Because Hollow Knight was such a fucking good game. And this artwork is amazing. That's probably gonna be the next one I get. Yeah, I'm excited to see what the wall ends up becoming though, because it's gonna take me a while to finish out the whole thing. Hold on, actually, one second. I'm gonna get a number. Let me see. Yeah, because I can fit quite a few of these plates on this wall. Like, the wall is just shy of 20 inches across, and each poster is just over an inch long. So, I can get about 20 posters to a line, and I can probably fit at least 4 rows of them. Not to mention the gaps. So I'm guessing the wall, when it's all said and done, will probably end up being 60 different posters. Somewhere between 50 to 60 different posters. And right now it's 2. So, and I already had some friends express interest in like purchasing their own to add to the wall. So I'm really excited to see what it is, even like 6 months from now, how big it'll branch out. It'll be a cool thing to update as we go. I need to figure out which other ones I'm gonna buy. So many options. Okay. Keep on writing. What are you guys up to while I'm writing and BSing and talking about towns? What's everyone doing tonight? Organizing my notes from today's game. Okay, cool. Catboy says, by the way, I'm gonna say now that you would likely have to change one aspect of Diapolis for your setting. What would I have to change? Before D&D, Skoger, Icelandic for forest. Tolkien used Icelandic for inspiration for Dorvis. Could be the city of an enclave of dwarf druids. Okay. I like that. I like that. I like that. It's a good idea. Before D&D, I'm not gonna front. I like that idea. Enclave of druids, dwarven druids. That's interesting. I don't think you see that a lot. In its original context, it's ruled by a man who ascended to godhood. Okay, so yes, I would definitely need to change that. Town, I think would be a nice twist on dwarves. They could have been outcast and chose to leave and live as recluses in the forest. It's fair. I mean, there could be a lot of reasons that dwarves would choose to live in the forest as opposed to the mountains. You gotta keep in mind that some of the racial tropes that you get with other forms of high fantasy will persist, some will not. Maybe throw some gnomes or elves in it, but mainly a dwarf town. I gotcha. This one shot's gonna be insane. And quietus. Okay. One thing I'm excited about doing for this one shot is trying to incorporate some of the things that we've talked about in previous streams into it. Taken from a show, a pseudo-gibberish word claimed to be derived from the Latin antiquus for ancient. Okay? But I suppose it could be the word in whatever local language for ruins. Pat Canoe, American for, or Armoranian for belong, a traveling town of gypsies or nomads, kind of like the gypsies in the Wheel of Time. but a town instead. A traveling town. It's an interesting premise. Also, the Tuathan are not gypsies. Not what I would call gypsies, but I understand what you're saying. Those who follow the way of the leaf. The Tuatha one. Oh my god. Robert Jordan was on some fucking other stuff. The man was on the good stuff. Yeah, I know it's out there, but a group that lives by the words, home is where your heart is, the heart being their community and loved ones. Okay. A little cheesy, but I get it. Using home is where the heart is. I think I could make something more fantasy-esque out of that, but it's good inspiration. And that's all that matters. You make notes for yourself for things to bring up on Saturday stream. If you're asking if I make notes for things to bring up, then yes. I don't know if you're asking someone else in the chat, but yeah. Yeah, I make notes for things to bring up. Generally, what I do is I mean, we've only done it twice at this point, but I'll take whatever we compiled and put it into the new doc, right? So any of the stuff that's on topic for Saturday, I'll put it in the new doc, and then I'll put down some things that I want to make sure to cover. And usually, I'm also taking notes on either the same topic, but things that I can't necessarily say, where my players could either see it live in the moment or I see what you're saying. If I make a recommendation now, would you recall it Saturday, or should I just try to wait until Saturday? It depends. To be honest, I normally would just make a note of it or put it on the doc. Because usually, like, when it comes to, like, this Pat Cannell idea, right? I know before D&D is going to be in the stream, and I know that he's going to remember it, and I'm going to partially remember it. So I just put, like, a general note. I don't necessarily put the whole thing, but I put enough for us to then take it and then actually expand upon it. So if it's, like, super long and detailed, I'd probably wait. But either way is up to you. It's not like we're... On the subject of ancient, we should discuss the oldest city on the continent. Well, it's technically 3 separate continents. Most of the older established civilizations are actually on islands as opposed to on the core continents. Yeah, because after the second reclamation, there was not a whole lot of anything left. I think the number that I've settled on is a little over 4,000 years. But I get what you're saying. Well, one of the oldest civilizations, longer than 4K years, would be. Wow, I'm sorry. Trying to read that word fried my brain. One of the oldest civilizations would be the Manawari tribe, which I don't have an exact number in terms of years determined yet, but it is older than the first reclamation, or older than the second reclamation. And then I guess the longest lasting city on one of the primary continents would be the capital, which I also haven't decided on a name yet. Jesus Christ. Kel. Kelanuria Mishan O Tondaris Tarium. I think I did pretty good with that. That is terrible. So to answer your question, Angry Meatball, yeah, there are a couple of places, but I haven't necessarily nailed down the finer details to those places yet. Well, I've nailed down the island. The island is pretty concrete outside of the exact, uh, exact number of years because it's going to be relative to what I ultimately decide for how long the world has existed and how long it's been since the most recent reclamation. Because there are very few. See, it bears not noting that Damascus has survived the fall of empires and kingdoms. People have been living there, but those people have been called different things and may not have been the same ethnic group the whole way through. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. The core concept with the reclamations themselves, though, and kind of the idea is that there are very few things that have survived to that extent, and those things that have survived are generally not super. What am I trying to say? Like, the world doesn't get to see much of them. So, like, there are cities that have persisted, per se, but the civilizations that inhabited them afterwards would be, after the reclamation, would be completely different. Because the whole world, or rather the majority of the world, was completely different after. Jesus, this is a mouthful right here. Yeah, so there are a couple, like, not, I wouldn't even say cities. Like, there's not a Damascus that has kind of survived through everything, even if the cultures have changed. There are structures and towers and caves and, like, there are objects and landscapes and things like that that have survived the test of time, but there's only a couple of cultures that have, and most of those cultures survived on the basis that they were not on the continent and were able to avoid the majority of the conflicts that came about during the reclamations because of that separation. And it's worth noting that while it's not technically, how do I say this? It's commonly theorized that, much like, and I may have mentioned this before, much like the world once had one supercontinent, originally Reina was one supercontinent and everything was connected. So the assumption that some historians have in the current age is that sometime between the first and second reclamation, or, like, sometime at some point the world had to split apart for whatever reason, right? So some people theorize that before the first reclamation, there was no fracture, and maybe the first reclamation inadvertently was what caused the fracture in the first place. So during the first reclamation, there was nothing survived. Like no one survived. But I honestly just started typing and treat each syllable as it was the start of another word. I mainly got it from Atuan, a town in Mexico that was frozen in volcanic lava. We have no reason to remember the name, but still most people know the town of... Holy God. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that one on stream. Holy God. Oh my... Wow. You guys really are great at finding these kind of ludicrous names. I gotta hand it to you. Definitely gotta hand it to you. Before D&D, check out that link. There's a Welsh one that's a fuck and a half to say as well. That's a good phrase, a fuck and a half. I mean, honestly, if you had told me you just had a stroke on your keyboard, I would find that more believable than that being an actual name for something, an actual word. But I believe you, Angry Meatball. Somehow Tom Hiddleston Loki can fucking pronounce that. Is it actually Polish for city? That's cool. Let's see. What the fuck? I'm fucking shook. I am shook. What the fuck? It sounds like an alien speaking. Go go go. What the fuck? Oh my god. That is whew. Yeah. Yeah, like honestly, that thing is. Wow. I don't even know what to say. That's just. That's. I don't know if I should be more impressive or terrified that someone can say it that just easily. It's not. It's not normal at all. Okay, I'm not doing that extra credit. Yeah, there we go. Imagine Homie was naming the town and mid-name tripped, and those were the noises he made. I mean, that would be very believable, honestly. Like I imagine that someone was like writing, like just some dude in ancient history is writing down this town name, and fucking he's writing some official document, and it starts, and the fucking town catches on fire and everyone's burning and some shit, and I don't know, the roof collapses in on his head as he's fucking writing or some shit, and his hand just skirts and fucking just draws out some bullshit that doesn't even resemble these letters. But 1,000 years later, historians show up and find this notebook, and all they see is this jank word that they transcribe to be whatever the fuck those string of letters are. I don't know, man. Like, there's no way that someone consciously sat down and seriously wrote out those many letters and said, I want everyone who lives here to love their town. Like, I can't even shit on the name because I couldn't begin to pronounce it. Like, imagine someone tells you that they can say big words. Like, that they know big words. And then you say that word to them. I don't know, that shit broke my brain for a second. I'm still recovering. I know words, not whatever that is. Yeah, like, that is some alien level communication. Please respond to the following. Looking at those letters doesn't equal English sounds, by the way. Yeah, I don't think it equals human sounds, to be honest. But they're the same people who famously spelled the name Griffith. That's, yeah. Yeah, you're not wrong. Like, like that made me tired. Is that weird? But I also kind of want to watch it again. He just says it so casually. Just up the road from, you can't pronounce this, but I can. Fuck you, goic. It's basically what he says. What I just said is less with letters. Whatever. I'm gonna stop trying to understand it because I cannot. Oh well. What time is it? Oh my god, it's already 11, like 11:20. What the hell? Yeah, bro, you like those disc plates? I told you, some of these are insane. Trying to figure out the measurements. Well, you know what to do. If you want to add one to the wall, you can. But otherwise, I'm going to fill it out myself. Old Scots is no better. Yeah, I believe it. I believe it. I mean, I would hope, like most things, that, language would evolve to become more efficient over time. But, like, god damn. Like, they were really playing on hard mode. Just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense at all. Huh. So if I do a landscape one. Would get this one if I bought it. I guess, bro. If that's what you're into, that's what the whole point of the wall is. Do what you like. I know you love this guy, but I don't know that they capture him very well. The lighting, the artifacts are cool, but I don't think like the drawing of his face is very good, to be honest. Like, that's the only thing you have to be careful about with disc plates if you're doing like an anime or like if you're doing something that's inspired on something, like you just gotta be careful which one you pick. Because some of the, like, I was looking through some Attack on Titan ones, and like you can tell people are just like copy pasting stuff to do cash grabs. Because like this dude had like a really good Aaron, like a really good, but they misspelled his name on the poster. So you could tell it's not the person who's actually either paying attention or really like trying. He just took the art from somewhere else, uploaded it, threw the name on it, and called it a day. People will probably still buy it. I would get the cute dragon personally. I have a feeling you will, but it's up to you. If you like it, then add it to the wall. I think it's definitely cute. And I'm sure I'm going to have more cute ones because There are a lot of cute options, and there are a lot of people who will be inclined to buy the cute ones. So it's like I said, there's gonna be at least like 50 posters on this wall when it's all said and done. So I'm sure there's gonna be a mix of cute, badass, anime, even just abstract stuff. I've been looking at some of the abstract ones to put on there as well. Video games, like the whole thing is should be a mix, right? Like you pick whichever I want you to pick whichever one you like, because when I look at that poster, I can say like, oh, okay, that's before D&D's poster, or that's Catboy Tad's poster, or you know, my friend X's poster. That's the point of the wall. So, what is divided by 12? That'll be multiplied by 12. Times 12 would be 8, 1, 0, 2, 4, 0, 8, 0, 9, 9, 1, 8, 9, 3, 1, 2, 3, 0. Pull out the calculator. So yeah, I've taken all these notes for the different potential orientations of the poster, because they come in like landscape and the landscape and portrait, obviously, for some of them. And I want to make sure that if I get some of the landscape ones, that I can actually make it still look kind of uniform when it's all said and done, because otherwise it's going to kind of mess with the look of the wall. So yeah, but it looks like we are about in the last half hour, so I think we're just down to the regulars. So as always, I appreciate you guys being here. If you got any more town name ideas, feel free to throw them out. I'm just gonna keep jotting down some notes and looking up every minute or so to check and see what you guys are doing. But 10, 177, 0, 8, 8, 2, that's 6, 62.8. next paycheck, I will get this one on the wall. Green Lantern. Blackest Night. That's actually pretty good looking. Do you want names for big towns or cities, places PCs would go to, or are you looking for things to add to a random table? All of the above. I mean, ultimately, right, like, anything you give me tonight as far as a name will go on the list, and then we're going to do what we did last Saturday, and we're going to flesh them out. Now, obviously, we won't flesh out every single thing that's been put on the list from Monday and Wednesday. So some of those things that we have left over, I'll end up putting on random tables. Some of them will go in my notebook, and I'll use them for, you know, like I'll use them for a bunch of things. So, like, don't hesitate to give like more names, but you know, it really just depends. Where it'll go is hard to say at this point in time. That is a good poster, though. I like it. See, that's a well done art piece right there. Just make sure if you're gonna do this one, do it in the medium gloss, so that way it aligns correctly. I'm just thinking of how small towns are named looking at Google Maps. I gotcha. Oh, that's a fair point. So once I would have two. Once I would have three. I think. Gotcha. It's taken from the cover of one of the best arcs in DC Comics. I know what Blackest Night is, bro. I might not read comics, but I don't live under a rock. Things like Nameburg or Animal Grove. Yeah, I get you. Calabar, a town that is a cult. I'm glad that I could gain your respect. I would have thought that I had already gained quite a bit of your respect, but you know, it's always good to hear that I earned some more. So it would be oh wait, no, that wouldn't work. I'm tripping. It's not gonna work. Cause the fucking oh shit, no. Damn it. Damn. This is a doozy. They have the single issues, but the big books are the first comics I ever owned. Still haven't found a series better than those. That run, justified, feel good end of the Wonder Woman movie for me. Because it's gonna be only 12 inches tall. Just fine until there's a gap. Holy man. Yeah, I liked it, but I really liked where Snyder was going with the Dark Universe. Would have loved to see Superman clap half the heroes like Omni-Man. Yeah. It'd be interesting, but doubt it would have worked out long term. Most people don't want to see that like you do in a big budget superhero movie, especially if you're trying to target it at being, when it's that big of a budget, you gotta have enough people willing to see it to make your money back. That's the number one goal. And you are gonna ostracize some of your audience with that, especially when it's not animated. Trying to think, how do I solve that problem? I have I have 63 inches in space, or 62.8. On the 10. It never particularly appealed to me. Once he goes grimdark, he's not Superman anymore. He becomes someone else. Like your Monte Cristo thought experiment earlier, you thought him into someone else entirely. Yeah, it's not very cool. Yeah, I agree with that. It's a very good point, Angry Meatball. Once he crosses that line, he's really not the same character. Looks like we got a little spike of people. Welcome, people. Hey, L2S Entertainment. I see you in there, and I know you just made it in, so welcome to the stream. I did shout you out earlier. I saw you followed, so I appreciate you, sir. But we were kind of in the wind down portion of the stream. It's a little bit shorter stream than normal tonight because scheduling conflicts. But I'll be going for about 20 more minutes. We are currently talking about town and city names primarily, so if anyone has some additional ideas to throw out in these last 20 minutes, feel free to do so. We will be doing the weekly Saturday deep dive here in a couple of days, where we'll take all the ideas that we came up with between Monday and, in this case, Thursday, normally Wednesday. And we will flesh out as many of these towns to make them usable in a D&D or other role-playing game session. So that is what we will be doing at 8 p.m. Central on Saturday. So if you like any of these ideas or have anything to add, feel free to let us know in the chat, and make sure to show up on Saturday. Angry Meatball says, I enjoyed the Superman who lived in a world made of cardboard. What was that? What issue was that? That scene is one of my fave pieces of superhero media. Lives in a world made of cardboard. It's interesting. It's from Justice League Unlimited. Okay. I've only seen a handful of episodes of Unlimited. But that was a good show. All the DC, like, that's the crazy thing too, is like they know how to do their shit when it comes to the animated stuff, but when it comes to like the live action, they obviously have struggled. Yeah, I guess there's not gonna be a way to solve for that. It's gonna be a matter of if I start left to right, and move the gap. Before D&D says it's the only moment that he said fuck around and find out. Batman the Animated Series won an Emmy for rewriting Mr. Freeze. Mr. Freezer's pretty good too. Mr. Freeze. It's not the worst typo of the night, by far, Angry Meatball, and I've made many worse. But the best typo of the night is still "could is not evil," especially because of Catboy's response to that typo. If you all did not know, "could" is not evil, as most words do not have an alignment. Oh man, what a day. I am excited for Saturday though. Ooh, hey. First time chat. Autumn. Hey. The forest around Skoger is alive, as it is old, although ancient would probably be more appropriate. Skoger is a wood elf town, secluded. It's here that they live simple lives of backwards, growing plants. Idea, sorry if I told you a preset idea. Stole. Okay. No worries. I appreciate your comment. Let me go ahead and add this to the doc, and I will just carry it over for a potential version of the town on Saturday. And that's kind of the idea, right? And that's what we really ultimately want, is it is an open market of ideas. So you come in, you add ideas, you take ideas for yourself, you build on the ideas we already have, and that's how we come up with all of this great content that we tend to make week to week. Um, so I would definitely encourage you, if you want to see some more great ideas and you want to build on some more ideas, then definitely show up on Saturday, because that's where really the magic kind of happens, so to speak. But welcome to the chat. I don't think this is your first time in the stream. I try to remember every name I see, even if you're just chilling, not actively talking. So you can correct me if I'm wrong. I think you've been here before, so welcome back if you have. But thanks for um, you know, joining the chat and throwing out some ideas. It gets a little difficult to remember all the names, but I feel like I've seen yours before. Oh, I am new. I like popping into world building streams after my previous group disbanded. Okay, well, welcome. Either way. How did y'all feel about Justice League Dark War? It was really a different take on things. I personally like the change of scenery, but am interested in y'all's opinions. It helps me scratch my love of D&D itch until I find a new group. And that is the other thing it's all about. I am working on my next D&D campaign, but I probably won't be running the actual campaign for another 5-6 months. So this definitely helps kind of scratch that itch. We have a lot of good folks here. A lot of good conversation happens. Yeah, this is also, I will definitely say that this is the worst time to come in and expect us to have a focused conversation. Usually, the last 30 minutes kind of turns into to us just shooting the shit about whatever, because by 11:30 I'm near brain dead. Um, and I think most people are. So I'm actually not familiar with it. Neither am I. Angry Meatball says, "Forgive our scattered minds. We've just about run out of gas." That is absolutely correct. Cowboy says, "Hello to Autumn. I never run out of ideas, even if I did have enough creativity to run with random topics." Also, hello, other two people. But yeah, Autumn, we're always looking for new people to join the archive. So if you would like to join along, we'd love to have you on Saturday. We'll start the stream at 8 and run until midnight. 8 Central, I should specify. Till midnight Central. And we tend to come up with a lot of good stuff on Saturday, and would love to have more people kind of join in. Before D&D says, if you look up the DC animated movie universe, it's a whole series of movies, honestly on par with Marvel and Endgame, in my opinion. Definitely worth a watch. There's some slower movies in the series, but they all tie in very nicely. Also, hello Autumn, welcome to the Che. Bro, you are on point with these typos tonight. You killing it. You're killing the game. Enjoyed it from a turn my brain off and watch standpoint. I love the big fight at the end. Made me more excited than any of the live action superhero films in the last 10 years. But I have an issue with the time travel bullshit. It annoys me. Cowboy Tad says, what annoys you about it? Before D&D, Yeah, that's one thing that I actually don't like about DC. The Flash always changes shit. I like the Marvel version with multiple worlds, and some are just fucked up, and there's nothing we can do about it. Marvel is kind of doing whatever the fuck they want at this point, which they have fairly earned. Laying this much groundwork into the cinematic universe, they really can just kind of do whatever they want and make it at least plausible. So, Autumn, what is your experience with D&D? It's something I normally ask any of the newcomers. Obviously, you said you have an itch for it, so I assume you've been playing for a decent amount of time. But do you play, DM, both? What's your story? Before D&D says DC tries to tie it all into a story, but it always doesn't work out, so another flashpoint happens. Barry has unsaved and then saved his mom so many fucking times. Tis true. Oh, I even noticed that. Angry Meatball says inconsistency. People can so rarely stick to the rules they set when doing a time travel story. There's always a hole or a recursive loop or a logical flaw. It's very fair. It is very fair. I agree, Capway. It is pretty hard to do time travel well. It's a complicated subject. There are definitely some things that could be significantly better than they are, though, when it comes to time travel. Alright. We are in our last handful of minutes for tonight's stream, so I'll go ahead and get the nightly, the plugs out of the way a little early. Let's see. Pull my stuff up real quick. Alright, so if you guys are still here, then you're awesome. Appreciate you being here. If you're not already following, you probably should go ahead and click that follow button and follow along. We will be back on Saturday for our weekly deep dive. This week is towns and cities. And then next Saturday we will be doing monsters. So definitely stay tuned for that and follow along so you can help build some great monster ideas over the following week. If you like what you see, please share this. Let anyone you know who you think might enjoy this content. Let them know that we exist because it helps out a lot. The more people we can get in here sharing ideas, the more great ideas that I can find, that you can find, that we can all find and build together. I do have a couple of different things that I'd like to let y'all know that I do. I have a podcast, The Shit We Say Before D&D, and all of these things that I'm mentioning are linked on my About page for the channel. So if you'd like to check that out, clicking the link will take you to all the different ways you can listen to it. We will be recording our second episode this Tuesday, and we will have it out the following week. If you like talking to me or Catboy or before D&D or Angry Meatball, you know, any of the regulars, make sure to join our Discord because that's the best place for you to communicate with us when we're not on stream. To leave your ideas and talk to everybody and just kind of build a community around world building. If you missed any part of tonight's stream or want to see some of the previous ones, you can go back and watch the YouTube videos. They usually go live the morning after the stream, or you can also review the document which I upload to the Discord server. Anything that we make is open market, meaning that I'm not going to hoard it. I'm not going to take your ideas and then save them to my computer and fuck off with them. I do post every single document that we make together on the Discord for anyone to use. And last, and you know, honestly, in my opinion, least, is I do have a few items on my merch store now available. These are kind of the beginning items. I definitely want to come up with cooler ideas the longer that I do this. We're only 3 weeks in at this point, so it is what it is. So if you have feedback or suggestions or like anything you see, let me know that as well. So that way I can help make better and more interesting items for you guys. If we do reach affiliate before March 1st, I will be doing a giveaway stream. So during that stream, I'll pick a couple people to give some merch away to. I'll let you pick an item for the merch store, and it'll be yours at no charge whatsoever. And I'll also be doing a character building stream where we make characters based on you guys, the members of the archive, as we call it. So, I know that's a mouthful. I didn't really plug anything throughout the stream because it was a little bit shorter. So I wanted to just say all that for the sake of posterity. Alright, so let me catch up on the chat. Autumn, I am a player mostly, but a DM on the rare occasion. Been playing D&D for 15 plus years. And you also joined the archive. So thank you so much for joining the archive, Autumn. And that's awesome. 15 years. I'm working on 6, primarily. Yeah, 6. This will be year 6, primarily as a DM, but the occasional player. So kind of the opposite. But that's awesome that you've got to play for as long as you have. Angry Meatball says, another old fuck, excellent, I'm not alone. Hell yeah. And Catboy Tad says, woo, Karen finally took some damage. Yeah, she did. Only 4 more followers. The trick is the followers have to happen during the stream for it to count, otherwise she doesn't actually take damage. Or $4 in donations, and we will kill the stream boss, Karen D&D. Autumn says, too bad I joined late. I could have given some neat ideas. That's totally okay, you know. I forgive you for joining late. Better late than never, you know. And ultimately, if you get a chance and you can tune in on Saturday, right? Whether you join right away or you join late, you'll still have time to give those ideas. So we will be live for a good 4 hours from 8 to midnight Central Time. And before D&D, in usual fashion, says, long may she reign. I really hope she does not reign long. It looks like she's going to make it to a 3-stream streak. She's already there for 2 streams. So Catboy says, so I'm going to have some city info to throw at you first thing Saturday. Good, I'm here for it. That's what Saturday's for. So I'll be ready to throw it in the dock and get it going. Saying we got to talk about WoW. Bro, I'm not using that in my campaign. Autumn says, I have some ideas for Mage Haven. Great. I have a lot of ideas, actually. Good. I'm looking forward to hearing them on Saturday. It's going to be a good stream. And the one thing to keep in mind, what typically happens is we usually end up coming up with like variants, right? Like we'll have one thing where a lot of people are throwing in ideas or have concepts, and we'll usually end up coming with like two or three possible versions at least of some of these deep dives. So the Mage Haven that I use might be different from the one that Catboy uses or Autumn uses, and that's what makes it so great, is that we can build the ideas together and then take them and spin them and tweak them slightly our own way. But it is that time. Yeah, it's already that time, man. That went by fast. It was a little bit shorter stream than usual. But I will be back. The archive will be up and running once again at 8 p.m. Saturday, so I look forward to seeing you guys then. Catboy, 4D&D, Angry Meatball, thank you guys for joining the stream and kind of helping me kill most of the time. Autumn, thank you for joining the archive. Thank you for everyone else who joined today. So you guys have a great night, and I will see you in a couple of days. Peace.